and try to do a better breakdowns like you suggested me the last time.
Okay.
And okay, let's do the polish because I'm so anxious to to do this.
See how it goes. Yeah.
And now I'm in the polish phase.
Okay, fair enough. That's very clear. Let's have a look then. Ready?
Yep. Yeah.
What?
Nice. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember the shot. It was way more complex. You were working in something that were more complex.
Yeah, it was very, very complex. Remember,
it's good that you are, yeah, it's good that you are holding your horses and that you're making it more simple. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you a little bit of what I see in general terms.
Okay.
So this is, let's say, this is the last pass of polish that you do. You just, it's not work in progress. This is the latest polish that you can do, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So polishing is, in my experience, polishing is what really takes more time to make it overall. What's your idea is to reach feature level, or like high quality polish? Is that what you want to do?
No, because I'm doing this for improve my skills, like everyone here. Yeah. And I have idea to do some personal shorts, animation shorts. Yeah. It's not my goal now to do a feature, like a feature film. Okay. But I'd like to improve my skills to do something like a feature film quality.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm asking that because, as I was saying, polishing takes a lot of time. Really, like it's a matter of polish after polish after polish after polish, and it's basically training your eye. That's all. Some people, if you can see in my experience, even though the polishing is a very, let's say, simple, or let's say the core of it is just simply cleaning up trajectories, cleaning up curves, just making sure that all the trajectories and everything that you have is looking good, and with good trajectories, with good spacing, with good curves and all that.
Yes.
The way to do it is always different. So, but the thing is that what you have to do is to train your eye in order to know that you are doing, let's say, a level of polish that fits under certain standards, right?
Yes.
And that takes time. So doing a polish, what you're doing now, you're doing a polish with an actin. Actin is already also a very complex thing to do.
Yes.
So my recommendation, every time when somebody wants to learn how to polish good, my recommendation always is do not learn to polish doing like a complex shot. And to me, something that has expressivity and something that has a dialogue or acting is complex.
Yeah, you know what? I was prefer my breakdown version than this.
Yeah, and it's okay. And I think everybody who learned how to animate the first few years, they can tell that for sure. Like myself, I remember struggling the first couple of years, or maybe more, that my work in progress passes or my blocking advanced passes, I used to like them more than my polishing, because my polish wasn't good till probably 3-4 years working as animator.
Yes.
So I'm saying this because you are having some polish issues, probably also because you have a dialogue. So my recommendation for you, Claudia, is that if you really want to improve your polish skills, we're going to talk about a little bit about this particular shot, no worries. I'm just mentioning that if you really want to improve your polishing skills, I recommend you to do simple shot, maybe more physics, more action, not dialogues, not just something short, like for example, a jump or strike or something like that, where you can just don't spend like a lot of time doing blocking, because if you need to spend more time doing polishing, if you want to practice polishing, go and jump and start doing polishing as soon as possible, right?
Yes.
Because
yes.
you know, at the end, if you're doing a dialogue, if you're doing blocking, that can take you weeks to get a good blocking. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot of time consuming. Because this is really this is a between spline and polish, because I'm not finished the polish yet, and I was 2 weeks on this just for polishing and clean up curves, and you know, it's a lot of time.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, and also because think about it, by the time that you are done blocking, your eyes are, you don't see anything, you are tired, probably you're not motivated by the shot anymore. So that's why it's good that, try for the next time. I recommend do something more simple, go straight to the point of doing polish, and that will help. Though, I'm not going to talk about everything that I see now in polishing, because I think that what's important is give you some examples of what are you lacking in terms of polishing.
Okay.
And see how you can get things started. But as I was saying, if you can apply it to a more simple shot, I think that you would learn more.
Yep.
So,
what?
Okay, I'm just gonna work on this part here. The what? Okay, I don't need to work more on that.
What?
So, polish, and I'm gonna give you 3 guidelines or a few guidelines that you use for polishing, and it's repeating these guidelines all the time, okay? The first important to know is hierarchy, okay? There is always a hierarchy that you have to follow on your polish, meaning you start working from the most important controls and you go all the way down to the most basic controls, okay? The most important control is always the COG, or the body, okay? Then you go down to the spine and plus head, okay?
Okay.
And then you do the limbs, meaning arms and then legs, okay?
Okay.
That being said, what you have to do in each of them, in each of these parts, you have to always pay attention to at least 2 things, okay? 2 things. The minimum thing that I recommend to do polish is 2 things. At least do spacing or ease-ins and ease-outs, okay? This is spacing, okay? And the other thing that I recommend to do is curves, okay?
Okay.
So in COG, you do a pass of ease-ins, ease-outs, and curves. The spine and head, you do a pass of ease-ins and ease-outs and curves. In the limbs, you do a pass of ease-ins and ease-outs and curves. At least this, okay?
Okay.
I'm just giving you a very simple guideline and workflow to follow. Now, make sure that when you do this, you follow your trajectories properly. Like something that, for example, what is happening here. I'm just gonna, let's say, I'm just gonna follow this point here, okay? You see that shoulder point here? Since your character is seated down, your COG is not that important. So in your case, in this shot in particular, the hierarchy, the top of your chain, the top of your controls is the chest or is the spine, because it's seated. There's like a little bit of a bounce, so probably you will need to do something in that bounce with the COG first, but most of it the work that you are doing it with the chest, right?
Yes.
You get the idea? Okay. So if we follow this, whoop, and it just stops there. Claudia, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Whoop. I just want you to look. Have you seen, do you see all the points that what are you doing is first, this is even, then here it stops because it's small, then you do like a break of a trajectory. Then, can you see that?
Yes.
So this is very dirty. Okay, what you want to do is to create, you need to get, so this is, and this is the top of your hierarchy. This is the top of your hierarchy. So every single control and the most top of your controls have to be perfectly clean. And by perfectly clean, I mean it has to be boom, 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 boom. Like super clean, nice trajectories with good spacing and all that. And this means go frame by frame, frame forward, frame forward, frame backward, frame forward, frame backward. And you try to do, as I was saying, apply and get good trajectories, good ins, good outs, and good curves in each of those controls, but always following the trajectory. Okay?
Okay.
So that's why I'm telling you, get a more simple shot. Simple, 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 simple. So at least you can get familiar with workflow and polish, because what I'm seeing here is that you have issues on workflow and polish.
Yes.
So that's why, for example, for learning to polish, some schools, they teach with a simple bouncing ball. You can do that. If you like it, if you feel excited, I don't recommend bouncing balls because to me, I'm bored as hell doing bouncing balls. And I don't learn too much doing bouncing balls. But if you feel that you have you feel good and you are attracted to do a bouncing ball, go for it. Go and do that. But I think that this is a little bit too complex in order to get that workflow of polishing going. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could do this in all the shots because I can see that what is happening is you have issues of trajectories in all your shots. So it would be useless if I just go for the whole thing. The thing is I'm just giving you the most important feedback, which is workflow. So go to something more simple and try to do it.
Yes. This is the problem when we hurry up with the scene, because like I say to you, I was in the breakdowns and I like to see how this going wrong with sprite inversion, right?
Yeah.
And you start doing some mistakes and forgot.
And it's okay. It's okay. It's part of the process. You have to learn, my friend. I think everybody who is working in the industry can tell you that the first few years, when you select all your curves from the work in progress and you hit the spline mode, everything is like, Jesus, what is that? Going back to go back to work in progress.
Yeah, it's like a spaghetti.
So yeah, that's good. Good, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Good luck with that.
Okay. Do you like more this version than last one?
I think your options are better, but since it's a spline, it feels different for me. I like that it feels more simple, that you're more direct, and that's pretty good. I think it's good. I can see that I would have liked more the work in progress too. So, but as I always say, you shouldn't care how I like it. You should care how you like it.
Yeah. Okay. But your opinion is very important for us.
I can tell you how you match, how you fit in the standards of the industry.
Okay.
but my taste, that's a different thing.
Okay, but I will fix these trajectories. Try to do this to better. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudio. Take care. Okay. After Claudio received another invitation from Nieves, I believe. Nieves, I don't know if you want to show something. Yes, you do.
Hi.
Hi, Nieves. Could you please, because I got another email, but with the emails it's a little tricky, so if you can send, please, the
I sent it already in the chat.
in the chat. Oh, that sounds Spanish. Are you from Spain?
Yeah.
I knew it, but that's in Spanish, I think. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe you have to make it public. Do you know how to make it public?
I don't think so.
Okay. So what you have to do, you go to, you see my screen?
Wait. Yeah.
Wait, let me just get to my. Sorry, just let me get to my, because I don't know why I'm in Claudio's profile or something. Hola. Sorry, just one sec. Project maybe. I can use this. So you go to your shot. If you're in your, let's say, in your space, you basically go to, there is a button here that is called share. Okay, you hit that one.
Yeah.
And here, wait, let me do this. I think they just changed it. Did you see this same thing when you hit hit share? Yeah. Does it say public?
Yeah.
Okay. So probably, oh yes, they just changed it. So probably you would have to do the change thing. So probably you have to copy link and then send this one to us.
Okay. Okay. 1 second.
Sure. The only, oh sorry, so maybe the only thing that you can do is that you go to share. I don't know if you have it this way. Anyone with the link, you change it to anyone with the link, and this will also make it public too.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get yours.
I have it like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, anyone with the link.
Perfect, it's working. Okay, so tell us what you have.
So this is the shot okay, I'm doing the essence, but I'm almost finished. So these are the golden poses that I want for my shot after I finish the essence.
Okay.
So yeah, these are the golden poses.
Okay. Let's have a look.
Oh, what a failure. I'm destined to live a life of feeble mediocrity.
Okay.
Oh, what a failure. I'm destined to live a life of feeble mediocrity.
Okay, good that is short.
Oh, what a failure. I'm destined to live a life of feeble mediocrity.
Okay. Things that I can say. Well, first thing that I would recommend for you, I can see that, and this happened to many of us when we are starting to learn animation, is that we want to put a light and make it look good. But my recommendation always is that when learning to animate, try to do your best to keep it just in playlist, keep it just on viewport only.
It's just the viewport, but with the lights option.
Yeah. Good, that's good enough. It's just that sometimes, you know, for better learning purposes, you have already a lot of things to focus on than having to put like a little extra light and all that. Also, sometimes what happens is that when we add some lights, sometimes what we do is that we throw some shadows, things are look different and necessarily not so good. And that changed a little bit the experience of the viewer. You have to think a lot in the experience of the viewer. So if your lighting is not great, the experience of the viewer is not going to be great. So I always say the same. If you don't know how to really light very, very good, do not light your shot. Okay? Because most probably you're going to be doing something that is not helping your shot. So in this case, I would say next time my recommendation for you is forget about lighting, forget about any kind of, because you know also the viewport of Maya, what it does, it makes the character and the textures as flat as possible, not 100% flat. It just gives a little bit of volume for you to understand how is the volume going, but it doesn't create any kind of weird shadows. Everything is just simple and clean in terms of what we see.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing that I would comment on.
Oh, what a failure! I'm destined to live a life of feeble mediocrity.
Have you done some more animation before?
Just 1 year.
Okay.
Oh, what a failure! I'm destined to live a life of feeble mediocrity.
Okay. So you're doing an acting shot that has a little bit of a dance and a little bit of acting and an action stuff. This is a very complex shot, very complex. Okay. To learn animation, and I think goes a little bit in the line of what I was saying to Claudio, is very good to start small and little by little. And I can see that this is going to be a little bit difficult, simply because of there's going to be a lot of things to pay attention. Usually, any kind of acting and dialogue is very complex. Okay, to learn. That's why, for example, in the essence, what we have is an acting, but the guy is seated down and is basically all the work that we're doing is just hands and face. Yeah. So we can apply everything that you can see in the essence of the animation in just a small range. The thing here is that you have a full body. We go back, lots of dynamic things going on, okay? Lots of changes in body, meaning that you will have to work on body mechanics, which is a big thing. You will have to work on high timing because it's a dance, so there's music.
What a failure. I'm destined to live a life of feeble mediocrity.
Meaning that all the body mechanics that you are doing, they have to be very well in sync with the music. That's another extra. And then you have the dialogue. So if you only have 1 year of experience learning animation, my recommendation would be to do something more simple, because you know sometimes we have to. It's and it's great that you are showing this. I'm happy that you are doing that, because sometimes we have to be a little bit careful of how much we are challenging ourselves. Okay, we have to always try to find like a good balance of how much am I capable to do it, and if it's too much of a challenge, is this enough of a challenge for me to learn, or is too much of a challenge that I'm gonna struggle, I'm not gonna learn too much. So my job today is to tell you probably a little bit too much.
Okay.
Just so you have an idea, if we would be in a show production, this would be a shot that they would give to a high senior, like somebody with a lot of experience, knowing very well what to do, knowing very good information. So yeah, so I would say let me see. I just would like to give you a couple of guidelines of the kind of shot that you could do in order to do the best.
Oh, what a failure. I'm destined to live a life of feeble mediocrity.
Do you have a reel, or do you have previous finished shot or something that I can do?
I have a reel, but it's like a student reel, so.
Okay, you don't want to show. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Oh, what a failure. I'm destined to live a...
I mean, you have a good sense. You have a good sense of posing. It's clean. Some of the poses are clean. You have some issues in clarity on poses. Like, for example, here we cannot read this very well. Right? You would need a little more of, you know, silhouette, more clarity on what is happening. You know, maybe the head a little bit, little more towards the side, so we can read what is happening. So this is telling me that probably you still need to be more solid in posing in general, clarity on posing, appeal in posing, and I wouldn't probably go too far on any kind of dialogue, because learning dialogue is something that at least you need to have good posing first. So my recommendation for you would be to do like a very good expressive pantomime, or if you want to do a dialogue, simple dialogue. Simple dialogue, maybe somebody who is seated, somebody who is just looking at camera, no music, nothing too complex, okay? But if I would say, because I can see that you can be very, very good at posing, if you can push a little bit more of your posing and just put yourself to improve your posing, I think you would be really good. So I would say do something more into, yeah, posing like a pantomime, something expressive. So that would, I think that you would learn a lot more than that. Okay. Also, this is 197, estos son 8 segundos. Okay, it's long enough. You know, I always say the same. The shorter the shot, the more faster you're gonna learn some things. Do not, you know, I understand sometimes that people want to do longer shots because longer shots, they look better at a reel. But I always say the same, that learning and creating a portfolio doesn't go well together. If you want to learn, do learn. And spend some time and do your best trying to do exercises that help you to learn. But if you want to learn and at the same time you're putting yourself the pressure of doing something that looks good in your reel, that's going to add too much pressure. That's why I always say that more or less, if you can keep the shot short, something around 5 seconds, that would be ideal, because even 8, I usually say 5 to 8, but sometimes if it's 8, it can get eternal. Yeah. And be very long. So I would say go for something that, try to keep it a little more simple. If you are not in a rush to get a job, do not get too ambitious in your ideas. Still look for something that you feel attracted to. It's important that your creative impulse is saying, "No, I always wanted to do, I don't know, a karate guy or like a cook." I don't know why, but all the students of animation at some point, they always want to do a cook. I think Diego just did one not too long ago. There's something in creating cooking people. So maybe it's that. So find something that you can feel that you are creatively attracted to do, but also try to see it with, let's say, cold eyes, and don't get too ambitious. Try to keep it simple, and start small, okay? And see where that takes you, okay?
Okay, thank you. Gracias.
You're welcome. Sorry that sometimes I have to give this kind of feedbacks where it's like, yeah, you're probably.
No, but you're totally right. So it's okay.
Good. That's for you. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Cuídate.
Gracias.
Okay. So, just to remember how is the drill, we usually use the first 45 minutes for visuals feedback, and then the last 10 minutes for questions. That being said, we still have more time for visuals. I believe the next one would be Igor or Igor.
Hi.
Hi. How are you, my friend?
Hi. I'm fine. After our last session, I decided to do a new shot based on your essence lectures, and I started from scratch. So I have the golden poses.
Okay.
And I wonder what you think.
Okay. Golden poses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the Grand Canyon, and good luck with the apocalypse.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you suck. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the Grand Canyon, and good luck with the apocalypse. Oh, by the way, you suck. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the Grand Canyon, and good luck with the apocalypse. Oh, and by the way, you suck.
Okay. It's great, man. I like it. It's fun.
Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the Grand Canyon, and good luck with the apocalypse. Oh, and by the way, you suck.
I love this movie.
Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the Grand Canyon, and good luck with the apocalypse. Oh, and by the way, you suck.
Okay. I fucking love it. Okay, so feedback on workflow. You say this is golden poses pass. It feels a little more complex. It feels a little more have more poses than a golden pose has. This to me, but again, remember that many times what I do, I just apply my ambition. Some people will say something different. This to me is more like a first rough blocking, meaning that to me this feels more like golden poses and key poses. You have, let me, for example, give you a little bit of the vision that I would say is golden pose and then a key pose.
Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the Grand Canyon. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Well, it was nice. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Thank you for the Grand Canyon. Well, it was nice to meet you, God.
So one of the good things of, for example, trying to, let me start with why we do golden poses first. We do golden poses first to help us to stay simple, okay? To make sure that we are not overdoing like too many ideas. Here, for example, this pass.
Well, it was nice to meet you, God.
You have 3 big poses, 3 big changes. You have this one.
Oh,
You have
nice.
2. And then you have this. Igor, are you still with us?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Something happened with the internet.
So you have big changes there and a lot of poses, meaning that probably this feels like the moment that you start adding more breakdowns, the more complex it's gonna be. It's gonna feel like moving a lot for such a small part of things. If you would have started with a more simple kind of, let's say, mood or keeping the things a little more simple, I would have suggested to have from these 3 poses that you have only one. Okay, it's like Let's just listen to this pose, to this audio.
Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Well, it was nice to meet you, God.
Actually, this could be a nice kind of simple mini shot.
Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Well, it was nice to meet you, God.
I would actually maybe have kept it into 2 poses. You could bring it down to 1, maybe, like, well, it was nice to meet you, God. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Or maybe 2. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. But you definitely having like a 3rd one, it feels like too many things. And not only that, it's not just that you have, it feels like there's like too many. It feels like there's like a big change in between all of them. From here you go from this, you go to this line here with open arms, and then you go into something even more extreme here, right? So again, as a feedback for workflow, my suggestion would be to pick at least, maybe get rid of one of those poses and try to keep it a little more simple. And not only that, the difference in between them, maybe a little bit less. Maybe actually, if you are, for example, let's say that you are starting with this one, that is nice. Well, it was nice to meet you, God. You don't need to go all the way to this, to an opposite curve in order to do that. Maybe just a little bit more like that. And then you open the arms there. Well, it was nice to meet you, guys. Maybe you just kind of like that, you know, but the difference is not that big, okay? So in this part, I would say simple, okay? Remember that every step that you do, every time that you animate, every time that you go from key poses to golden poses and start adding all the different kind of workflows, you are adding complexity. So try to start from a more simple point.
Okay.
So this is from this part. Definitely this what, no.
Thank you for the Thank you for the Grand Canyon, and good luck with.
Like this one, for example, I think this is a great option. I really like it. But again, you see how you have this that feels like a little bit of an anticipation. So you are starting to add breakdowns. So here, this is a breakdown. So you are going down the hierarchy of the workflow.
Thank you for the Grand Canyon.
You have a good solid golden pose. This feels like a very good solid golden pose. This actually would be the one that I would say, go for this one and try to make sure that this is looking good.
And Canyon, and good luck with.
And here you have lots of changes. You have another anticipation. You have another breakdown here. So you have breakdown 1, you have a breakdown 2 here. And this could be another good golden pose. So what I'm trying to do is trying to help you to see how your workflow is still a little bit loose in terms of trying to find the nice poses. Because you know what you really want to do is to focus on the most important poses and do like a good amount of time in those poses. So those ones you don't need. You could go straight into this one. This definitely feels like a breakdown too.
Oh, by the way,
maybe this could be a golden pose because you are like, thank you for the great Daniel, and then, by the way, so this could be either this or this could be the golden pose that is telling, by the way. Or just simply go to this one. You see, so I don't even can see which one is the most important of all the poses, right? What you could have done, for example, is that having clarity of what's your workflow, you could say, okay, this is going to be my golden pose, okay, for this first pass. You are not showing yet because it's golden pose, so you are not showing. But in your mind or in your plan, you say, okay, and then in order to help people to understand, when I do my key golden, my key pass, the key poses, this could be a key. So basically you would have key pose and golden pose. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, definitely, yeah.
You suck.
This could be golden, definitely. This could be golden or key pose too, so this is good. But you have a little bit of an overshoot. So this is key and this is breakdown. Okay, so I would say I would clean things up in order, or I will list have clarity of what kind of poses you have in order to know which ones you need to put more time. So let me go over very fast some of your golden poses and see how you can improve some of the golden poses that you have. This is nice. Actually, this works pretty good. I would suggest do a little bit of a cleanup of this eye, a little bit, and maybe try to get a more sense of eye that is like that. Not do it so round, like this is 100% round. You can do it like a little bit, you know, like that. Like if we would bring the highlight up, it would be on areas that is something like that. So at the end, you would get an eye that is like that. Can you see that more or less?
Yeah, yeah. So stretch the iris. Yeah.
A little bit, and also a little bit of cleanup because you have a little bit of an S curve there.
Yeah.
In this part.
Okay.
If you, I already commented on this, so I think that it would be better if, yeah, if you bring this one a little bit more back, closer to the previous one. This I wouldn't do it. This feels like a breakdown, so no. This is nice. I would have a look to your eyes. Definitely, there is some controls under the eyebrow, so you can clean up that amount of meat or skin that is under it. Doesn't feel great. So see if you can clean that up a little bit, and also try to get a little more simple. Okay, more simple eyebrow, not too complex. It's a little bit S shapes or too loose. Okay. It's okay to have kind of like it's okay to have changes, but have tension. Okay, so we would have more straight lines, more solid corners, for example, right? So these would be better if you just add a little bit of that. And this, it would be, this is nice. You have some issues there in the nose. So it would be nice if you can clean that nose a little bit and actually have a way more clear. It's okay if you cheat. You can just bring the nose all the way there. Help us to see more clearly that nose. Okay, and I'm not sure about that. Yeah, way better, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can hide that. Good. Body-wise is great. Yeah. Good arms. This is pretty good too. Again, try to clean up a little bit. You're having some issues on crashes there. See if you can clean that up a little bit. Sometimes we have to spend a little bit of time doing that. And this is probably a little too much too, the one that you have there. So I recommend you to play a little bit with toy and see the difference. Do I have a shot? See the difference that happens sometimes. Okay. In between working with this control that is very general, and what it does, it slides the whole skin, versus working with only the small ones that only works with the shape of the eyebrow. So this doesn't slide the skin, right? That's why I always recommend good time in the essence, spend a good time playing with the character, try to get to know it, because you can definitely get this shape without creating those kind of issues. Okay, probably is something what is happening there. The rest is great, man. I really like this 2D feeling. Probably you can get a little bit more 2D, a little bit more. I'm not sure if you need lower teeth in that pose, but I would say try to get a little bit more of a space here, so we can see a little bit more of the back. And again, try to, so if you're working with the eye, what you have right now is that if you look at your iris, this is what is happening to your eye. More or less is like right there, more or less, right? So very good to get good relationship in between iris and eyes in general, is that if this is the eyelid, okay, see if the iris itself also can be the line of the iris and the line of the eyelid are the same line, okay? And actually you can do almost the same with the pupil. Get even as close where the pupil itself also uses the same line, right? So that helps to create a lot of appeal. Same with this one. Okay, try to get that working a little better. You could actually maybe even probably go a little bigger in there. I'm not a big fan of this stamp. I would suggest something a bit more simple. Okay. There's a little bit of complexity in these fingers, so I would suggest try to make it a bit more clean. Okay, a bit. So we can read more the general shape of it. It's a bit too simple, too complex. Bring down. This could be good. This is nice. So here you're doing it better. Do you see this eye? That feels great. I just feel that maybe you could go a little bit thicken eyebrows. Just a little bit thicken. I would do same kind of treatment that you've given to this eye. I would give it to also this eye too. And again, a little bit more of clarity in that nose, and maybe something more like that in the mouth. And I would recommend also to try to find a little more of cheek, because that helps a lot to create nice appeal on this character. And the body feels clean enough. Maybe a little bit of more. Bring this shoulder a little low. Try to create a little more balance. Maybe bring this arm a little lower. And a little bit more profile, probably of this arm too. It's a little, you see a little bit of too complexity. You see all those lines? It's a little too complex to see. So see if you can cheat a little bit and give us a little more profile.
Wait.
This is pretty nice. I would actually push this a little bit more. I know we're reaching the closest part of this screen, so maybe the shot, you can bring it a little towards the left a little bit. But definitely it feels a little too short, and also I think that you could use a little bit more of, push it. It's a good opportunity to do something fun. And nose, again, I think you're having some issues here. So clean it up a little bit, make it a little more simple. Get a little more of clear expression, a little more of appeal. This is nice. I would clean that up a little bit too. More towards the side. It feels like he's looking a little bit too up instead of. I have the feeling all the time that the character is here. So yeah, I'm seeing that eye lines are still not 100% solid. So I would recommend to create like a good point of reference of where would be got. If it's gonna be up here, make sure that always all the eye lines are looking into the same direction, because I can see that they're changing a little bit. So make sure that you have that more clear. You see here, this eye is completely gone, right? For example. So yeah, have a little more of clarity around that. Clean that up. Actually, I think is the whole I would say actually. Yeah, even the face, I don't know where the face is looking. So get clarity about what is the direction. And then make it a little more clear, those lines of all the eyes. And get a little more clear. This feels a little too dirty, not so appealing as the rest of the stuff that you have. I think you have done way better faces. So try to spend more time getting a little more appeal with nice cheeks, a nice pose in the face, simulating a little bit of 3/4. And I think that you could actually push a little more of the body backwards. More clear, more a little bit of profile in that hand. You see? And the other hand doesn't feel super appealing. So if you're wanting is to, to throw it, maybe you can do something more like that. Or we more clearly, bang, yeah, kind of a little higher. You suck. This is pretty good. Yeah, I can see that you are, so, okay, this is something good that is good to revisit. When you see that you are, I don't know if you have taken this decision on purpose, but in one pose, one of these poses, I think it was this one, you can get close to this limit. In the other pose, you can get close to this limit. This means one thing, you are too close to camera, okay, for the style and for the things that you are doing. So probably a good idea would be to bring the character a little further so you can get nice poses without, struggling, because definitely you're missing good opportunities. Here it would be very nice if you get a nice clear pose, you know, like that. Maybe with a little bit more of actually I would recommend opposite. You see how you have pleasant eyelids. So if you're angry, this kind of curve doesn't really work as well as this.
Okay.
I would say get more angry. And definitely a little more of expression there. That. Yep.
Yeah.
And sag, definitely, this is the one that is, we don't see it clearly. It's a little too push. The face is not super appealing, so I would recommend to think about something different. But again, yeah, this is also telling us, I think, that you are way too close to camera for the style and the options that you have. You can have good, you see, if we expand the hands totally and get super nice, something very nice, you would require to get a little further. Okay, to that pose. I would say go for something, even though that you are trying to do something push sometimes, I would say I think that you need to start a little more simple because it feels a little too complex already. So stop. Something more like that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Actually, maybe you could try, as I was saying, where is God? Where is this reference? So maybe actually what you could do, make sure that at least the eyes are always looking to the same spot. That's very important because here now, this is looking somewhere around there. It's not very clear. So maybe actually what you can do also is maybe to throw it at him. You suck. No, getting like him. Or maybe that's a little too much. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That comes from depending of where God is. Okay. Though I'd also like it to throw it down. Yeah, you suck. So yeah, those will be, you know, that's why also it's very good to know which one are your golden poses. So you can really, as I was saying, pay attention to those, spend some time on making something nice with just those poses. So that would be my recommendations.
Thank you. A lot of great notes.
Good, man. Have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so it's past 12. I'm gonna give 10 more minutes for questions. If somebody have questions, we can do that. So if there's somebody else that wants to show some stuff, we can do, I believe in 2 weeks, we have the next session. So let me have a quick look to the questions. After Igor, Dima asks, question. If you would be 21 years old, 2 years of experience, animation, body mechanics, and your goal work in Sony Pictures animation, what would be your first, okay. Dima, are you still with us? I just want to make sure that I'm not.
Yes.
Okay. So what you first step to this goal? So my first recommendation would be, first I would say, be patient. It's not easy to, it's good that you have this goal in mind. I would say don't struggle too much. Get a job on Sony Pictures. It can take some time, okay? So do not be afraid to get in between jobs, okay? Because you have to keep in mind that Sony Pictures has, let's say, from in that perspective that you say, that 20 years old, 2 years of experience. First, you need to show that you are reliable and that you have experience on shows, on delivering shots. So that means do not be afraid to just work in the industry in general, doing TV stuff, doing maybe short films, so they can see that you can deliver a shot. And the other thing would be try to, whatever the work that you do, and even your personal work, try to orient it a little bit in the style of Sony Pictures, okay? Meaning try to do yourself cartoony shots or more shots that are more into the line. Though Sony Pictures are a little bit all over the place, they also have VFX, but I'm assuming that you like Spider-Man, those shows that they've been doing lately, you know, and Hotel Transylvania and all that stuff. So try to also do that kind of a style so they can see that you can do that. In the meantime, I really recommend, do not get too ambitious on your shots. Do not do any complex things. Keep it simple. Okay, try to do a good job, but keep it simple. When somebody has small experience and a supervisor in like a place like Sony Pictures, a supervisor doesn't want to see a junior doing all sorts of stuff. What's important for a junior, or what's important for somebody that has a small experience, is the potential. That you know how to apply everything, and that you know how to navigate the tools, and that you have a certain amount of quality work. That doesn't mean that you have to have dialogues or complex, super complex stuff. You don't need that to get a job on Sony Pictures. You just need keep things clean, simple, and do something that is nice in that direction. Okay, in that style.
Understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't recommend you to study anywhere else. I would recommend you to study anywhere that you feel good. I think that you just need to keep going, keep studying animation. So I don't have specific, you can keep working, keep studying with us, or you can keep studying with Animation Mentor, with Anime School. There's lots of schools, which is good for all of us because we can choose. So my recommendation for you is that choose you a place that you like, that you feel good studying around it. And whatever you do, you feel good studying that. And whatever the style that you put you to study, and whatever kind of exercises and practices that they put you to do, creatively speaking, you have to feel good. You have to like it and enjoy it. If they put you to do a style, if they put you to do exercises that you don't enjoy, that you don't have fun, I would say don't go with them. And it's okay, right? And what do you recommend? And a last recommendation that I would say is that make sure that you like, because you say that you like pictures animation, you would like to get a job there. You know, I always tell the story that for my first few years working in the industry, I always wanted to work into Pixar. And it took me 6 years to realize that myself, I don't like the Pixar style. I don't like working creating the Pixar style, I don't like it. I don't enjoy body mechanics. I don't enjoy that kind of solid physicality. Even though, in my perception, it's like, oh, I wanted to do a Pixar, but I didn't like his job. I didn't like his style. I love their movies, really. And it's a wonderful studio. They treat the people very well. But I don't like, I could see that I wouldn't enjoy working in that style. So make sure that you want to go and you want to work for Sony Pictures Animation because you actually like making that style. So do not choose the studio that you want to go just because you like their movies. That's a big issue. Just because you like meat or eating meat doesn't mean that you have to be a butcher. So do not choose that studio just because of the movies that you like. Make sure that you choose the studio because you like to work in that kind of a style. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I can see that more people want to show some more stuff. So, and I have some questions at the end. Claudio, I can see that you have sent me some questions privately. So please do send those to everyone so everyone can read them. Yes, please. Thank you. What do you recommend? This is the last question, okay? Just making it clear. What you recommend? Come back to the breakdowns level and correct my trajectories. And when done and fix, go to polish. My main doubt is when to go to spline. I spend a lot of time in my swing and I really like to finish, not for portfolio review, just for improvement. Claudia, this is, you will have to choose. This is you will have to make this decision, my friends. If you are not tired of your shot, I would say, and you can still keep working on it, I would say go for it. Go and, if you're not tired of your shot, you can give that a try. Though, as I was saying, you have the handicap of there is an acting, it's a performance shot. So it's gonna be tricky to polish it very, very well, let's say, because it's an acting shot and it's very complex. So that's up to you. That's why I'm recommending you that in order to really improve, if you really want to improve, I think that it would be better for you if you don't put yourself the pressure of the acting and you do something more simple where you don't have a dollar. Definitely. That is how you're going to learn when to jump into spline and polish. Yeah. Oh, just improve the breakdowns and correct for, if it's just for that, yeah, maybe you can do that. But again, it's up to you. If you're not tired, yeah, definitely go back. Try to do your best improving breakdowns. Keep it on stepped mode, and then take it from there. I don't think it's a bad idea. Yes? Good. Okay. That's it for today, guys. Thank you very much. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Stay safe.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye.